You know, grief once stopped everything, but it didn't end us. And you stayed with the hard, long work, and something gentler began to appear. Love started pointing you forward. You see, phase 3 is where that love becomes our fuel. And phase 4, then, is where love becomes a natural part of your life. Henry Nouwen once wrote that we become a healing community not because every pain is cured, but because our pains are shared experiences that become openings for new way to live our lives together. You see, here's the irony that we've learned through this whole grieving process is this. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with other vulnerable people, when we share honestly our fears, our failures, our tears, our pain, our disappointments, that's when hope deepens. You see, weakness shared in a safe community becomes a sign of coming strength. And that's phase 4 of healing. It's when we become wounded healers. It's when our experiences with grief and the discovery of hope and new life and new purpose, it becomes a source of inspiration and comfort, connection with those who are in need of healing from their grief. Because the fact is this, we never really stop grieving. And this may really sound strange to you, but we really don't want to stop grieving because now grief and love are connected forever. And as long as you love the one that you lost, grief will always be present. You can't have one without the other. Now, that emotional sting that's associated with grief lessens quite a bit, but your loved one continues to live and love within you and through you. You two are now inseparable. Your person now becomes motivation, inspiration, a gentle accountability to you. You begin to carry their love into your choices, into your relationships, into your life's work and passion. Let me tell you a story about my friends and their son, Charlie. Charlie grew up in our little community, only child. He was a triathlete. He was an Eagle Scout, straight A student. He was a young man who never, ever met a stranger. In college, in a moment of great pain, Charlie took his life. It devastated his parents, my friends, and it rocked all of us. And they walked through those first 2 phases of grief, just the shock, the ache, the pain, the questions, the tears, and we all walked and shared that with them. But like warriors, they did all the hard work, the daily work, the grind of healing. About a year in, they felt this small shift of energy, and then they decided to want to give back. And so they started simple. They started a support group. They went to a support group in another town, and they learned how to launch one in their own town. And they did that for months. And after a while, they thought it was time to move on from that. So they did. That's how it works. And then they walked in suicide awareness events and began to raise money, making t-shirts. Then they would organize mental health awareness events at church. They brought in speakers, well-known speakers, who openly shared their vulnerability with mental health. And they began to say out loud what many people were only whispering. After just a couple of years ago, really, wasn't that long ago, I was having a conversation with them about all the things that they had done, and they began to admit, we kind of feel guilty because we're really not doing anything anymore. And we looked at them with shock. I mean, all of us who walked with them for years could see clearly. What they could not see was that love had reshaped their identity without them even recognizing it. It had become a natural part of their life to check on their son's friends, to offer a safe place to have hard conversations about life, including the loss of their son, Charlie. They attended Charlie's former girlfriend's wedding, 600 miles away. And at the reception, when they're singing and dancing, all of a sudden, Charlie's favorite song came on randomly, right at the right moment. It surprised and shocked them all. And then they found each other, and they began to laugh, and they began to cry, and they began to feel his presence. Charlie was there. 15 years later, they still vacation with Charlie's friends and have become godparents to their children. You see, none of that was planned. It wasn't some strategic event that took place. It was who they became. their new identity. That's phase 4. Loving, shaped by our grief, isn't just something you do, it's who you become. A wounded healer, refined by fire. So I want you to do this. I want you to think about your struggles in the early phases of your grief. I want you to ask these questions. What gave me life? Where did I find hope? What felt empty? What could have been better for me? Finally, where is love inviting me next? And then commit yourself to being the answer to those questions for others. You see, the bottom line is this: we cannot fix grieving people any more than people could have fixed us, right? But what we can do is that we now can offer ourselves as guides to those whose eyes hold that fear that once occupied our eyes. Yeah, we know that pain. We see that fear, that lack of hope. And when it's shared, it stops paralyzing and starts mobilizing. Hospitality. It's our open and honest presence that turns into a safe community where a new bond is created, a genuine bond, a new connection is formed in the depths of life. And in that community, that is where hope rises. You see, phase 4 will shape and reshape the rest of your life, because you never leave your person behind. You are a carrier of their love, as you move through the remainder of the years of your life with intentionality. Their love, that love, becomes your engine, your compass, your courage. Grief once stopped everything. Now you have come to know this. Love points you forward. Let's honor love. One meaningful step at a time. Heads up, people. Shoulders back, eyes up.